Hello and welcome back to Bald Sports. I'm Tyler. Hey, we're 3-0. That's pretty crazy. This is where things are probably going to start falling apart as we play the Lions on Monday Night Primetime here in Week 4. And if you take a peek at the schedule, you know, we can see definitely possibly some losses here as, of course, I didn't start with the weakest team. I started with a pretty strong team if you consider. But, you know, we can see losses to the Lions, to the 49ers. You know, we play them twice, see losses to the Bills and Rams. Those are quite possible. And, of course, you never know when you might lose to a team like the Jets or the Cardinals in Madden or the Green Bay and the Vikings. So I think we definitely, much like the real-life Seahawks, had kind of a softball toss up there for the first 3 weeks, as we had pretty decently convincing wins, obviously more than one score on each one against our first 3 opponents. But yeah, the Lions are going to bring us our first real challenge. Now here we have a message is we have a running back breakout, and if this is Kenneth Walker, then we're looking at possibly an X Factor. As sure enough, he says, Coach, obviously Kenneth is one of your top weapons. What kind of game are you expecting from him this week? And, you know, we're probably expecting a good game out of them, if I'm being honest. I don't expect him to go crazy just because of, you know, injury, and we split carries a lot. So 150 will increase his dev trait. I think that's fair. Now let's look at our negotiation, see if, oh, that's right, we are negative money, so we need to get that figured out. Of course, a huge part of that is going to be cutting or trading Draymond Jones, but with him being on the IR, not happening. Can't trade him, can't cut him, he's on the IR. So let's go ahead and look to see if we have made any progress on any major prospects. And see if we see anything. Probably not this early in the season, but you never know. As sure enough, you know, we're 10% across all quarterbacks. I don't think we have any major progress on any particular player. Some 15s here or there. But right now, the only thing we know are some really, really basic things like a tight end's carrying rate. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and do our weekly strategy. And then, of course, can't be Madden storylines without a storyline of the week. We haven't really gotten anything huge yet. We haven't gotten anything huge yet, as it's coming. It's coming. We're gonna have a huge storyline at some point. Here, I'm definitely worried about Jahmyr Gibbs. We're gonna try to defend the inside run, and then here, do we go blitz counter? I go a lot of short passes when we have to. I almost want to just do the inside run because obviously our biggest threat is Aiden Hutchinson on the edge. So if we can kind of dominate up the middle, we should be okay there. At least that's my rationale here. As we look at our stats, I haven't looked yet. We have the #1 offensive rank and the #12 defensive rank, which is pretty good for where you want to be. Now, where we could be a lot better is our offensive passing yards per game and our defensive passing yards per game. But when it comes to rushing, we are dominant on both sides. All right, let's get them trained, and hopefully we don't have any major injuries in practice. As I should have waited to say that, and I immediately see 2 injuries. Now, it looks like they're both backups. We have, yeah, George Halani and Jake Bobo, both injured for the game with a couple sprains. Everyone else is fine on offense. Now, let's look at defense. And it looks like we're going in perfectly healthy on defense, which is great. Now, real quick, let's do some upgrades. Take a peek at the roster, do our storyline of the week. The upgrades weren't anything major, so I went ahead and just hopped us into our lineup, where I'm just making sure everything's set, because, man, things have not been great lately with getting my lineup set exactly the way I want it. Once again, I think Job should be our 3. Obviously, we got rid of Trey Brown last episode. Spoiler. Sorry if you didn't watch it. But, Trey Brown was constantly getting torched, both in real life and in our franchise. Now, here's something I want to change. I love Tyler Lockett here, obviously. But, man, Tyler Lockett in the return's rough. But, I mean, it's a huge drop-off between him and, honestly, McIntosh. I'd want to be my guy, but 79, that is a huge drop-off. So I guess we'll leave it for now. Look at our specialists, make sure they're set. And we're good all around, as everything looks pretty good here. Now what I would like is maybe we consider Leonard Williams here, of course, but we also put him in as the second defensive tackle for rushing so that we can get Derek Hall a little more playtime. Let's try doing that. Let's see if it'll let us put him in on the depth chart as the secondary rush tackle, which would then free up that edge spot for Derek Hall to maybe get a couple snaps here or there. And he's right in there. It didn't give us any issues. Now let's get over to our wheel. Here we are on the wheel as we have all the same ones. I went ahead and just for funsies removed another nothing from the wheel. Make it a little more interesting, a little more fun. We're going to shuffle it 3 times and then spin and see what our storyline is. 2, 3, hit a spin. And we get something good, hopefully. Oh, not Team Strike, please. Okay. We get a strong practice from the O-line, which means we get to choose 1 O-lineman to upgrade 1 overall. I know, once again, not huge. We're gonna get some big storylines, as there's 1 strong practice for each position, and every time I get on, I'm adding more and more crazy things that can happen. So we've just been getting kind of unlucky, lucky, but also unlucky. So let's get in there and let's find an offensive lineman we want to upgrade by 1. And I went ahead and decided we're going to put it on Abraham Lucas, who is obviously a guy we want to keep for a long time. I think he's kind of criminally underrated. He does some really great work. But what we're going to do is just kind of toss 1 to each of his pass blocking. And that should put him up 1 overall, as he was a 77 prior. So now he should be a 78. And no, he didn't even go up. So we're going to toss 1 more on for each one. As there we go, he is up to a 78 overall now. Not a huge improvement, but hey, you know, if you can get it, take it. He is now 78 overall pass protector. Still young, and he's got star development, so obviously a guy we hope that can develop. Now let's hop into the game. All right, here we are as we face the Detroit Lions, who of course are in real life currently the #1 seed of the NFC, and in my personal opinion, probably going to make a good run in the playoffs. Don't clip this if that's wrong, though. Don't do that. No. All right, here we are on defense. As I mentioned, we're facing a potent offense, and honestly, a pretty considerably good defense as well. As they're going to immediately hit underneath to who I believe is Amon-Ra St. Brown, and of course that is who it is. As he looks to be in a little discomfort, but he gets right back up and he's fine. Now, our defense has been immaculate in the turnover department, and we're going to have to hope that they continue to be immaculate, because, man, these turnovers have been winning us some games. Like, not even close. As Jared Goff is going down, and Boye Mafe is having a beginning of the season to remember, as he has a sack or more in each of our first weeks. All right, as we're going to take over here with Kobe Bryant, and Jared Goff's just going to throw it away with yards and yards of green grass in front of him. All right, I'm not going to complain, and we're going to get the punt, and that's a great way to start off with an offense like the Detroit Lions here. Tyler Lockett's going to get popped as I didn't fair catch that, and I probably should have, but honestly, it could have been significantly worse. And here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to all I have, pretending I'm a Superman. We're going to come out in a pass because I'm feeling it. And maybe I shouldn't have come out in a pass because no one was ready for it, apparently. Not even us. All right, we're going to try to run the option here, catch him off guard. And it's not going to be the pull, and that hole closed very quickly as we get nothing. Here, if depending on the way this looks, Jackson Smith might get open if we put him on a streak here. And not quite, but that should leave. It's the classic. It's the classic Madden bump. I decided I was throwing this ball as soon as I saw that Jackson Smith was not going to get open off, because obviously he's going to cross underneath and be open right about here in this gap. And what happens? Well, that happens, which that ball is perfectly in that gap that I knew was going to be open. And Noah Fant is way over here. Sick, EA. Keep doing work. All right, let's punt it away, as last week we punted a lot. Way more than we should have. And Josh Jobe was going to blow him up if he didn't call for that fair catch. As we're going to come out in a pretty large blitz here, as they seem to be suggesting a run. But you never know with the Detroit Lions. And it is a run. And they're going to pick up pretty much the whole 10 yards, as nobody could defeat their man across from him, basically. And Ernest Jones, we get him in the right spot, but he gets blocked. And sure enough, there's just nobody there. And this is exactly why I was worried about Jahmyr Gibbs running all over us. Because our guys just aren't winning up front in the run game. And Kobe Bryant makes a pretty good play, but of course Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's got strong hands, so he's going to hold on to that ball. Ernest Jones, Kobe Bryant have been major upsides for our team. Major upsides. But when they're, they can't make every play. So we need our D-line to be up there in the run game as much as they have been in the pass game. Of course, we've been getting to the quarterback pretty good, but we got to also get to the running back. As Rayshawn Jenkins just doesn't see the guy he should be covering sneaking out of the backfield on a wheel, as he is literally that flat right there. Rayshawn Jenkins has been a massive liability in coverage for us, and I think he might be the next guy on the chopping block, as we're going to probably look to trade him. As, oh man! It's going to be thrown away, but we had a player just completely leave his assignment. And I had to cover. Alright, hopefully we can not have that happen, as I couldn't decide. That's on me. I couldn't decide who to cover. I was a little bit more concerned about the over-the-top, and I just got to be better at covering that underneath route. As they're just going to keep going to the well. They have run the same play 4 times on this drive. Madden CPU for you. As, once again, they have run that same mesh concept like 50 times. So far as I get in front, Ernest Jones with the pick. And Ernest Jones is going to take it all the way up to the 42, as he has been elite in pass coverage for us and elite in the run game. And we're back on offense, as they probably would have scored on that drive if it weren't for Ernest Jones stepping in front of the curl route and making a great play, as Kenneth Walker's got space, and he's out to the edge, and he's going to pick up a big ol' 17 yards, it looks like. Now, the last drive was definitely a very poor one, as, man, they just allow that linebacker straight in, but Kenneth Walker's going to make a couple cuts and make it work. So far, his season has been pretty good. Last week, obviously, we relied on him heavily. 31 carries, 100 and, what was that, 170, 150 yards, something in there. He was our workhorse for sure, because our passing game and pass protection was awful last week. Now here, even if we don't get it here on this trap play I'm going to run, as long as it's within this one, we don't lose yardage, we're going for it on 4th, probably with a QB sneak. And we don't even have to worry about that, as the hole was perfect, and Kenneth Walker's just going to go ahead and set up shop right there. Now, Ken is tired, so I'm a little worried about running this ball right now, because I know Madden loves to make it a fumble when I need it the least. So we're going to go ahead and go curls here, and we're just going to toss it underneath the DK. Pick up 5 yards that way. Now, hopefully they do the smart thing, and when I come out here for this read option, and Ken's still in, and he's still tired. Bring in the backup! Bring in Sharp. I shouldn't have to manually do it. We're going to run it, and it's a terrible idea. But he's okay. But he's all right. Here, I want a power run. Thank you. Thank you. Why would we not have like a... Yeah, there we go. I want fullback blocking in there, which is... we don't have a fullback on this squad, so it's Pharaoh Brown. And for some reason, even though Charbonnet is our power back, Ken is still in, which is driving me crazy. And he's going to pick up the first, but he's exhausted. I don't want to do manual subs. And he's still on the field. All right, I'm done complaining about it. If I need to, I'll just go in and manually sub in Sharp. As we're going to get sacked. I didn't see anyone open as I scanned the field. I got a little stuck on a couple guys who I thought would get open, and they just didn't. They just didn't. All right. Hopefully we get a little DK here as we're going to get it over the top, and he holds on. Touchdown. DK Metcalf on a great catch, and it was a great throw by Gino as well. The extra point is up and good. That was a great drive. Significantly better than our first drive, where obviously we went 3 and out. You need to take a lead against the Lions. You have to, because they will find a way to beat you at some point. And honestly, they were beating us on the last drive, but we got that interception. Like I said at the beginning, we are dominant in the turnover department right now. We have been taking away the ball multiple times a game, which when you're in offense, oh, what a play. When you're in offense, turning over the ball 3 or 4 times every game, there's no way you win. And by the way, Ernest Jones made an amazing play right there. A great tackle. As it was kind of through the player that was trying to block him, as Jahmyr Gibbs is going to go ahead and say it doesn't matter and pick up the first down anyways. All right. Well, they're going to go ahead and motion Amon-Ra St. Brown out. And they're going to dump it down underneath to Laporta, who I think is such an amazing playmaker in real life. I think they really scored on drafting Laporta. And really any team that would have been lucky to have him. I was definitely high on him a bit coming out of the draft. But the Lions definitely a great fit for him as well. All right, they are once again probably tipping their hand to running the ball here as David Montgomery is in the backfield now. It's the same play as before, so it's probably going to be a run up the middle, but I hate guessing run up the middle because they always seem to get me. But it was the same exact play as I went ahead and just filled the gap that I missed last time. But reverse, because they flipped it. There you go. As yeah. What a great play design, as it allowed David Montgomery to get out there and block immediately as Amon-Ra St. Brown caught that ball. Now we have a 3rd and short. I'm going to bring Heat for hopefully get a... No! You guys can see exactly what I was trying to do there. And sadly, we just don't have the recovery speed if we're not already hip-to-hip with them crossing the field, as Sam Laporta is, as I mentioned, a playmaker. Now, as I mentioned, they will make you hurt, and they have the capability to make us hurt on this drive, as they're gonna have all day to throw that ball. We got to see how long that was, because it felt like I was covering for a year. All right, as soon as I hit play and it snaps, I'm gonna count. I'm gonna go 1, 2, let's see how long this was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 full seconds to throw the ball is insane. And our D-line has to be able to get to the quarterback within 6 seconds. I honestly think he probably could have just stood still, maybe like did like a party trick. Like started dribbling the ball on the ground behind him, so, you know. Obviously, no forward pass. Got to be thinking. If you're going to dribble the football, do it behind you. Live ball that way. And Tyler Lockett is going to return this football at the primal age of 30 or 31, I think. What a return guy, as he actually does have a decent return up to the 34. And, yeah, we're going to need to rely on our offense being pretty good today, because it might end up being a shootout. Now, that's not the way you want to start, and I hate all the plays that they're recommending. I just prefer to go like a go like a mesh, pick up some yards. They're trying to get it all back in one shot, and I hate that. Pick it up in chunks, as Ken's going to be open over the top. And sure enough, he is open. And not only that, it's a touchdown as Kenneth Walker absolutely torched his man. And did they come out and cover one? They sure did. It's what it looked like off the snap, which is why immediately I thought that we'd get that wheel route. And that is great, as we immediately answer back. With 14 points being scored in the first quarter, you can feel pretty good about that. As long as we're not having scoreless quarters, I feel like we can really hang in there. Now we're kicking this ball off. And I completely lost my train of thought, but they went ahead. And I'm sorry because I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I use silence detection for making my cuts, which is if there's ever a really wacky cut, I'm sorry. It was the program that I use. That's going to be a wacky cut because I wasn't talking. I usually don't during the returns. As he absolutely makes an incredible play, and I need to see that one. I'm more impressed that I am angry because it was great coverage by Julian Love, but look at this play. He goes over the top, goes ahead and says, "Give me that," and then rolls over him, holding onto the ball, and honestly, Julian Love is just stuck with a look of bewilderment as I cannot zoom in any closer to his face. But if you were in there, you would see that is the look of a man who looked down and just noticed that he does not have the ball. Sorry, I was saying, there was a fumble on the kickoff, and they recovered. So it's not the biggest deal, but it's going to be a wacky cut, and I'm sorry. As anytime I seem to be explaining something, something huge happens, as Pickens, is that right? I think that's right. Not George, obviously, but that was Pickens. Gets a pretty decent play, I should say. Not a big play, but a pretty decent play. And that's just a pick. But they're going to say out of bounds. They're going to say out of bounds. What? Alright, dude, you are playing. Perfect spot. The ball is in his hand at this point. One. Is it actually incomplete? That foot's down. That ball is in his hands. That foot's down. And the other foot just never gets down? What? I'm going to challenge it anyways because timeouts are like candy in the first half. And we're going to get nothing off of that. That's terrible. And here we are, as we're going to have to defend after Tariq Woolen defies the laws of physics to not get his foot down at all. As, dude, when we get a chance to play make with Ernest Jones, it's magic. It's magic. I think he is a phenomenal player, and I'm incredibly excited to see what he does next season. As he does allow his man to get a little open there, but fourth down, and they're going to kick, which is terrible. If this was Dan Campbell, there's not a chance. There's not a chance. And I was going to concede that kick, and I'm glad I did, because last thing you want is a rough in the kicker there. As 4th and inches, how you not go for it from that spot, I don't know. But the Madden coaching is very conservative, very scared. I'll just say it, they're scared. They're scared of Ernest Jones. And we are so back on offense. As if we can score here, that would help me feel a tiny bit more comfortable. And yeah, we're good run there. And Ken, if he keeps up this pace, he is going to end up an X Factor by the end of this game, which is exciting because obviously you get that faster development as well as the X Factor itself. We're going to keep relying on him as long as he's not gassed and as long as we're not getting no gains. Which here, that's exactly what's going to happen. 2nd and 9. Get ready to pass the ball. I'm going to be real with you guys. obviously Seahawks are my favorite team, but I hate this Madden Seahawks playbook. Which makes sense because I hated the way, as we get hit while throwing, I hated the way the Seahawks offense looked in real life, as I just want to see how that got blown up so quick. And, yeah, we saw this a lot last week. Christian Haynes is going to lose to his man immediately. And it's going to lead to Geno getting popped on a wide open throw to who I believe was Noah Fant. Once again, I'm going to see if Jackson Smith can beat his man here right there. And if not, we go right there across the middle to the tight end. And Noah Fant's going to drop the ball. Even with possession catch, Noah Fant cannot hold on the ball. I'm sorry for replaying so much, but I've been shocked. Like that, especially with secure, that's ridiculous. Noah Fant, what are you doing? As he had a terrible drop last week as well. Now we're going to have to punt this ball, and that is incredibly disappointing. Now they are not... He definitely didn't call for a fair catch. I feel like maybe we should have got a chance to blow him up, but whatever. All right, Jared Goff's going to come out here, send his man in motion. And J-Mo is going to be... J-Mo? Yeah, Jameson Williams. It's going to be wide open. And this is what I meant. You will be beat by the Detroit Lions on the dumbest plays. And that is one of them. As I can't see... I wanted to go back to the replay and see who was in charge of coverage. But I have a sneaking suspicion, and you might be shocked when I say this, it might have been Rayshawn Jenkins, who once again has been an absolute liability in coverage. I'm going to go ahead and believe that that was the case, considering obviously he's the safety. That was his side of the field. Put 2 and 2 together. We are going to come out here and pass the ball, hopefully come out in a big play and shock them right back. As Kenneth Walker is just never ready. I know I'm throwing the ball early. I know. But he's like, I've never had the running back not catch the ball this often on that check down if I throw it right away. I usually get the catch, like a catch in stride almost. And I know that's me kind of cheesing the game a little bit. But come on. As we're going to hit Noah Fant, secure the catch, and get the first down. I was so scared because I saw contact coming, and I knew. We're going to come out and play action, and I think we might end up with Lockett here over the top. Ooh. And that is what we have. And Lockett's going to hold on because that's what he do. Now we're going to get back to running the ball, as we do want to try to run this fourth quarter. Oh my gosh. Second quarter out a little bit more. And 10 yards is exactly how we're going to do that. Okie dokie. We're going to keep running this ball. And once again, good yardage, over 10 yards. Kenneth Walker is, I don't want to say unstoppable right now, but unstoppable. He's unstoppable. All right. And why would you ever go away from Kenneth Walker as he continues to pick up massive yardage? There, not as much, but 4 yards on first down, you take it every time. Now we're going to come out in this mesh because it's great. It's a great play design, and Barner's going to be open on the right side. And he pushed for the first, and that's just a great shove by Barner, as we have a big deal here. Jackson Smith and Jigba has an MCL sprain. And we just cannot allow him to stay in the game, possibly get injured. I know he hasn't been a huge playmaker for us so far. He hasn't gotten a lot of yardage. We haven't really hit him that much, but he is a guy who can make big plays. So there's no way. As Fant's open, and he's going to have to dive for the ball, and that's a touchdown. As he makes a great play to make up for earlier. That ball was led way too far outside, and he went ahead and put it all on the line to make sure that that is going to be a scoring play and a scoring drive. Now, hopefully, Hopefully, because I've noticed this happening a lot, they don't put Jackson Smith and Jigba back in the lineup, even though I told them to substitute him out. But we saw that in week 1 when Charles Cross went down. Here we are in the kickoff again, and I went ahead and started talking because last time I was talking during the kickoff, a fumble happened, and maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a correlation there. Now, I don't want any QB spies here, so I'm going to go ahead and put Ernest Jones on a blitz. It's that same run play from earlier. No, it's not, and that's exactly why I didn't guess run. Because as I said earlier, they will find a way to get you with that same look. And I'm so glad I didn't guess run, and I almost did. Now here, they're going to come out in a pass again, and we're just going to cover the left side as Jared Goff goes down, and that's Byron Murphy, the second, not Junior. Not Junior. The second. Now, you may be saying, Tyler, those two things mean the same thing, and I tell you, shut up. That's it. That's all I had to say. Now, we're covering here, and they're going to take a deep shot, and this should be a pick by Julian Love, and 100% it is, as you get a Jared Goff arm punt, and that is another turnover, as we now have multiple turnovers in every game so far, which our defense, that's how we're thriving. Because this game could be much, much worse if we're not taking that ball away. And now, to be fair, that pick is not the worst thing Jared Goff could have done, considering that it ended up putting us back at the 19. And we're going to go RPO. The bubble's not open, so we're just going to take with Ken, and he's over 100 yards in this first half, and you just love to see it. And good, I don't see Jackson Smith here. I see Darden's on the field, which, you know, but Darden is open, and we're going to see what he can do. And if he can make a man miss, and it was the worst juke move I've ever seen, but man, if it didn't look good. It didn't. But man, glad he got those yards. 2-minute warning. All right, Darden got involved in our offense, which is awesome, and he's going to get involved again as we dump underneath to him, and he's going to pick up 12 yards-ish? Something like that. We'll come out here and see if we can hit it big on the screen, let our blockers get out front, and you need to get out front. You gotta guys, get out there and block! But it's still a decent gain, even with less than stellar blocking. What are you gonna do? It just works sometimes. And that's a free play, and we're just gonna go ahead and chuck it up top for Young, and Young gets the touchdown! What a play! And that is gonna stand as they were offsides. Call me prime Aaron Rodgers. I'm playing a video game. I have no raw athleticism at all. If you tested me on athleticism, I would score a negative. They tested a Broom on an athleticism test, and he scored a 1. That's what I'm saying. I did good in a video game. Sorry. And the PAT is good, and we are up 2 scores against the Lions, which makes me not comfortable, but it makes me a bit more comfortable. A little less on edge. As that was a crazy sequence of events. I should have done a replay to see who jumped, as I was way too excited. Because, man, that never happens for me. That's crazy. All right. We're going to come out here and guess past this whole drive, as they're going to probably try to return the favor. And if we can keep them underneath, that's fine, though we can't let them get 12 yards every dump off. But yes, we are going to try to keep them underneath, for sure. All right, Jared Goff is going to look for his man, and we just played behind him a little too much. If we are a little bit more aggressive, we could probably knock the thing out or at least tackle him on the spot so he doesn't get those extra yards. But we need to just kind of hold them, make sure they can't kick a field goal. Right here, they probably could, but it's definitely not a gimme. And that's what you can't allow to happen, as Devin Witherspoon gets torched by Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now they're in chip shot range, which is just so not what you can allow to happen at this point, as he has his X Factor on, and Pritchett, I feel like we're getting Trey Brown part 2 right now, as Pritchett was nowhere close to covering his man there. Well, we might end up seeing a Lions score in less than a minute, as they are on the move, as I'm going to try to pass them off. And once again, at the goal line, they have all day to throw that ball, as they had chance for every guy to cross the field and then turn around. So it is clear to me that this draft, we probably need to look at edge rush, or obviously interior. We need to look at pass rushing. We need to look at pass rushing. Now we get the ball with 28 seconds, and here I'm not afraid to try to take some shots to see if we can score and try to come back on top, as Pritchett is dangerous as he spins and gets us all the way up to almost midfield, as that was a phenomenal return by Pritchett, who I have kind of trashed as a return man, and he makes me eat my words, as that was a great return. And we're going to come out and see if we can take a shot here, maybe hit Metcalf. Probably just Metcalf. I don't think I trust the other guys as much, as I hate everything I'm looking at right now. Just going to step up in the pocket and take the sack. Try not to lose any more than I have to. Now here, I'm going to let it tick all the way down and then just chuck it up. So let's go. I didn't mean to do that. We're going to let it tick down. Snap. And then we're just going to chuck it up and see if DK can come down with it. And no, and that's fine. Honestly, that's the result I expected. But, you know, if you can steal one, great. If not, whatever. I do believe we get the ball first, as their passing game was definitely starting to heat up. I'm going to go ahead and try to focus a little bit more on their passing game, as they kind of gave up on the run at one point, though I could live to regret that, as Lockett's not going to get us very far, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but I wish Pritchett would have ran it back for us. All right, get a couple outside runs going, as I had to cut it inside a little bit to avoid a defender who was way on the outside before we even got the ball. Now this mesh play has been great. We're gonna run it back, see if we can get Ken open on that wheel again, and it's not gonna happen. But Gino's wide open for the scramble. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but he tossed the ball to the Lions coach, and I'm sure he's not happy about that. I'm sure we're going to see a fine by the NFL for that. Now, the blocking's pretty good on the outside, especially if Ken's can go ahead and make a bad miss there on the outside. Good old Ken's. And I love these bubbles, you guys know that. And sure enough, it works out. First down. Darden's kind of been getting involved, and I don't know. We might have a little controversy in the wide receiver room, as who knows? Maybe we have a little bit of something brewing with Darden as he continues to make big plays in this game. You know. Now here, my goal, of course, as I'm not too concerned about stats, but I do want to get Ken up past 150 so that he can get his development trait upgraded. As I'm kind of excited as Darden is going to be open, and he's going to put in second effort and get the first down, as he had just enough shove to get there. I thought personally he looked to be a little short, but they gave it to us, which I am not going to complain. We're going to come out here in this same bubble and see if maybe we can get it back over to Darden, who's been making some big plays. Now, I forced that a little bit, and I'm glad I did, as Darden is going to score the touchdown. We might have controversy brewing. We are back up to 2-score advantage, and we want to keep it that way, if not more, as the Lions definitely have been scoring pretty often. Once again, if you guys think this is too easy, give me some sliders, because we're playing on base all Madden right now, no sliders adjusted. And honestly, we've just been having a little too easy of a time, is what I'm saying. When I play franchise with friends of mine that we have our yearly franchise we do, we typically play on all Madden with some minor slider adjustments. So, yeah, just give me some suggestions, what you think would work best for something like this. As obviously, we started with a team, in my opinion, is a playoff caliber team. I know they didn't make the playoffs, but if they would have won a single more game, they would have won their division, and they would have been in the playoffs. Both wild cardly and also divisionally. As they would have had the 7 spot or the 6 spot if they won one more game. If they didn't drop it to the Giants, you might be looking at a different playoff schedule. I definitely showed a lot of bias there. And I'm sorry. I'll try not to do that. But man, you get me talking about the Seahawks, I can go off. Obviously, I'm a yapper. And that's one thing I can absolutely yap about as Rayshon Jenkins continues to not impress me. We are probably going to be looking at safety as the better safety typically is playing sub linebacker. And I want to keep it that way because that's where he has found some strides. And Boye Mafe gets out there quick to make him lose 4 yards. And Boye Mafe is, as I mentioned, a guy I'm high on. I think he's a great player. And I think in this franchise, he could be really good for us. As every time I've ever done a Seahawks franchise, he's never really developed. And I would be really happy if he did in this one. Especially with our storylines. Could be cool. As it is 3rd and 14, they have a long way to go. But man, with this empty backfield, I don't know. That's a lot of people to cover. And he's going to throw it away. And it might be a field goal try. And no, they're going to go for it on 4th and 14 instead of punting or no, they're not. Why'd the game tell me they were going for it? Okay. As they're going to hit a super easy field goal because no one was there to try to block it. Thanks, Madden. I could have taken a timeout and come out in block, but I don't want to waste timeouts, especially now that we are in the second half. All right, we're going to run this ball to the outside, and I see grass. I see green, green grass, blue, blue skies, as we pick up some pretty decent yardage there, as they were getting aggressive on the inside and left the outside wide open. Now here, that's going to be a hold. It's going to be a hold, but on who? I don't know. It's going to be on Laken Tomlinson, who is another player that we're going to be letting go. I'd love to say he's a good player. I would love to say that. Obviously, I'm just a guy who plays video games and watches the NFL, so I have no right to say a player is good or bad. But statistically and the vision test, he was very lackluster, and in some cases, I would even use the word bad. But like I said, I do not have the right, as Darden, man, I do not have the right to say a player is good or bad. Drives me crazy when people say a player is just straight up bad, because obviously these guys are among the elites of the nation. You don't make it to the NFL being a bad player. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the end of my rant. As we're 4th and 1, we're absolutely going for it. Call me Dan Campbell. We're going to put all the blockers up front, and we are going to attempt to pick up this 1 yard, and we got it. I was a little worried there when the block got bounced back into me, but it's all good. Now, I need to take a peek at Ken's yardages. Wow! Wow, okay. I need to see what happened on the blocking here, as Charles Cross does not block the man straight across from him. I imagine, did what he was supposed to, which is block the guy to the outside, as this is a run to that direction. So I do believe his blocking assignment is there. So he doesn't block him. He does get contact, which should, in theory, allow, who was I just talking about, Laken Tomlinson, to have a very easy job blocking a guy who just got bumped. But instead, he lets him go right through and watches as Kenneth Walker goes down, and then just walks away. Doesn't even help him up. Not a my bad or anything like that. Interesting. All right, we are going to keep giving this ball to Ken, as we need him to get up over that 150 mark, and they are getting sturdy up front, as they are not allowing us to pick up big yardage. And I hate all of these play calls I see. We'll see. Maybe Metcalf gets open on this kind of mini wheel right here. And no, because it's going to be Darden! As it gets swatted down at the last second. If I would have thrown it maybe a little sooner, Darden would have been our guy. Man, he's impressing me. Ooh. And we're going to try to get this backspin. I'm just going to let it spin up forward as I tried to cheese it a little bit. Let the ball come back and bounce off the returner. He wasn't paying attention. Now, they're going to come out in I form. This definitely seems like it could be a run. It could be that same run from earlier. And it is, as they're going to lose a yard. Now, we're up 12. No, I read that backwards. I'm sorry. I swear I'm not dumb. We're up 8, which is 1 score. So when I said 2 score, I lied, which makes me very nervous, as we're going to get down there and blow that up with a combination of Kobe Bryant, who's been a little quiet today, and Ernest Jones, who has definitely not been quiet today. Now, of course, we're going to guess pass here and see what we can make happen. And we're just going to cover over the middle as they're going to try to take a shot again. And once again, it's a Julian Love interception, as that is his 2nd of this game. And 4th on the season. Maybe 5th. But he is on a roll as Jared Goff tried to test him again. And if there's a safety on this team to test, you chose the wrong one. There's a different one on the other side who's terrible. Throw it up there. Or not. Actually, now that I'm remembering that I'm the head coach of this Seahawks team, maybe don't throw it at our worst safety. All right, run it to the outside. He's got speed. And that is 150 on the day. Now, I don't know if it's 150 or more, so I might, obviously we're not done running it. I don't mean that, but we got what we needed is what I'm saying, as long as disaster doesn't strike. And you just know because I said that disaster is going to strike, but that's part of the fun around here. As, yeah, they are definitely getting real strong up front. 30 rushes for Ken. Let's give them a break. We should pass the ball a little bit more. As I love the look here, as we're going to read Lockett, Fant, Darden, and then Metcalf. And we get Lockett right off the snap. So, it's all good. No worries. Not about a thing. Because every little thing, it's going to be all right. We're going to come out and play action. Catch him off guard, and you just know we didn't. But Darden is going to get open on the sideline as Darden. We might have something brewing here. I might call a I don't know what you would call it. I might make a commissioner's decision here and say that we might have a wide receiver controversy. And I might set an imposed challenge for some interesting storylines to occur here. If you're interested in seeing me using personal judgment to make some storylines, let me know, because I think that'd be a fun one. Maybe we do a position battle between Darden and Lockett, or honestly, even JSN, who hasn't even been a producer on our team so far. Kenneth's going to score! Touchdown! His 2nd touchdown of the day, 1st on the ground. Okay, he said 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. I thought he was going to say the game, which I was going to heavily argue, because he had a receiving touchdown. Our newly upgraded Abraham Lucas is going to have a pectoral strain. We're just going to let the immaculate Stone Forsythe in to block. Yay! Fun times. We are definitely putting up solid numbers against the Detroit Lions, who have been playing a really bad game. But once again, if you turn the ball over 3 or more times, have fun winning the game. It just can't happen. As he's going to break a tackle, and he's going to break another tackle. We almost had a Hunter Henry flashback. As, go watch episode 2. Insanity. As they're going to run the ball, and they finally remembered that they have a run game, and Jahmyr Gibbs is making us pay. As I chose an option that makes it to where our run defense is worse. So maybe I shouldn't have guessed, cover middle for our halftime adjustments. But, I mean, hey, they pass middle there, and it works out for them. So maybe it's just the lines are good. Here, I'm going to try to time the snap. I'm going to be honest with you. Now. Oh my god, I bit so hard on the running back. I don't know if you guys saw that. Dude, I bit so hard. I'm Derek Hall right here, by the way. So I shoot the gap, and I'm like, oh, here's that run gap. Boom! I tackle Jahmyr Gibbs. And the ball was never in his hands. As Ernest Jones blows Jared Goff up. All right. Man, that's funny. I think it's hilarious when I make dumb mistakes like that. I really do. It cracks me up because it really goes to show that I am not perfect at this game. All right, now we have if I can do math, we have a 15-point lead, which means we are 2 scores, which is good this late, but also not good enough. And Jared Goff is getting his team down the field as he's not just randomly shooting it up to Julian Love twice. As, man, Ernest Jones was just ready for him. Good patience in the right place at the right time. I got nothing but positive things to say about Ernest Jones. And Jahmyr Gibbs is tired back there, so even if he does get the ball, if we pop him, there's a good chance at a fumble. And they're going to make a great throw, kind of threaded the needle between a couple defenders. And I don't blame anyone on that one. That was just a great toss, great catch, great route. It was just well designed. Now, this is where we've had a lot of issues, especially in the pass rush, as they have had all day to throw the ball when they get down to this part of the field. And we need it to not be the case. As I'm going to blitz and guess underneath pass and see if maybe we get lucky here. Kind of jam them at the line. And no. As if there's a guy who should have caught up to Jameson Williams there, Reek Woolen was the guy to do it, but sadly not to be. Now they are once again behind by 8. So we need a score. Bare minimum, I think we need a field goal here, especially if we want to be even a little bit comfortable. So we're going to return this ball with Pritchett, who's had a pretty great day as a return man, and he's up past 30 again there. I tried to get a little too shifty. And, oh, man. Leonard Williams is out for the rest of the game. Now, the good news is he'll be back next game, which he's been pretty good for us so far. Now, that's bad. Byron Murphy is also out, since you guys missed that. On first down, by the way, we get tackled for a loss on a run. I was taking a drink of water, so I decided not to keep it in the video. But during that time, we also saw that Byron Murphy is down, and he will be back next game as well. But now, we have no interior rush, which is bad, and it's also 3rd and 10. And we are risking giving the ball right back to Detroit. And I'm going to get that ball out to Jackson Smith and Jigba, who should not be in the game, but decide to come in for a clutch catch. Get out of the game, but also thank you. As he's still here, and we might have to do a little manual adjustment. As DK is open on the right side, he's going to shake a man off, and he's going to pick up good yardage. Now here, we can get a little conservative, go chew clock, and start running the ball a little bit. Because here, if we kick a field goal, we take a 2-score lead. Of course, a touchdown would be the best option, as I don't really want to score here, so I'm going to kind of juke in, slow down my momentum just a little bit, so we can tick down at least, 20, 30 more seconds off of this clock. And, oh, they are ready for a run here. And yeah, just nowhere to go. Tried to find a gap. There was no gap to be found for me, in my opinion. Sorry if that wasn't the case. Now here, play action. See if we get Lockett there on the edge, and no. Now, I like that DK look, but Geno Smith just has green grass in front of him, and that is a touchdown. And I wish we would have taken just a little bit more time off the clock. Now, It's not every day you score 49 points. Today is one of those days. So we're going to kick this thing away, and I'm not comfortable. You might be saying, no, Mr. Bald Tyler of Bald Sports Incorporated, trademark, copyright. You have 2-score lead, and it's the 4th quarter, and you only have about 2 minutes left. It's all Madden, it's EA Sports, and it's the Lions. That is a combination for getting your heart broken. So I will not be as wow Witherspoon got out there. I don't think he made contact with the ball, which is the strange part. And apparently he did. It looked like it went past him and just missed the guy. But no, he did make a great play. And as I was saying, yeah, you never know. Combination for disaster with these guys. Now, Jared Goff is, of course, going to look to throw it this entire drive, so I'm guessing run. And Tariq Woolen lays the boom on that one. As in real life, Tariq Woolen, not the greatest tackler in the world, but man, in this franchise so far, he's been the giver of a couple phenomenal tackles. Now, this is exactly why I said we need to worry, because they're marching. Now, I understand I was manned up, but also it was man coverage inside zone coverage. So I thought I could kind of use him to be the free lurker. But no, it ended up just being wide open. So maybe I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. As that is only a 2-yard gain, and they're forced to eat up that 2-minute warning. We're making good use of making them waste time. Now they got to start using timeouts, which is exactly what we need to happen. He was going to go there, but he gets sacked. He's brought down by Boye Mafe, who is having a game and having a great beginning of the season. As after this game, we're going to take a quick peek at, because we will be a quarter of the way through the season. We're going to take a quick peek at their quarter season stats after this game. They're forced to use their first time out there. We, especially if they score, have to do a good job at making sure we cover up the onside kick, because we know it's coming. There, Laporta just drops it, which kind of gives them more time. So not the end of the world there. So, I mean, all in all, not the worst thing, as, I just played that route so poorly. That's on me, as Amon-Ra St. Brown has been their offense. 13 catches, 150-plus yards. He has been dominant this game, as they've beat on us with him. And once again, this is a spot where we have allowed them way too much time there. We managed to get a little pressure. And, yeah, they stopped the clock. And now I'm getting really nervous, especially because I know that onside kick is going to be coming, as I can't cover both. And we have a safety standing in the back of the end zone covering no one. Whatever. And this is exactly why I said we need to score as many points as possible. EA Sports, Madden, Lions. Onside kick needs to happen. The onside kick is here, and it's up. And it's in a good spot, and it got touched, but luckily, Pritchett came. Oh, dude. I think that was Jackson Smith and Jigba who didn't pick up the kick. Whoa, I felt my heart start pumping. We are going to kneel the ball down. They're going to take timeouts, which is unsportsmanlike. But we're going to win the game. And the clock has ticked all the way down. One more knee will do it. We take our knee. It's going to tick all the way down as we come out here. And I forgot that punt makes it to where the clock doesn't tick for 2 clock. So I'll see you guys in 20 seconds. And that's the game. Oh, yeah. Let's look at our stats of this game, and then we're going to take a peek at the quarter stats, the first quarter of the season, and see how things are going. Now, Jared Goff, if you eliminated the 3 interceptions, he was stellar, as they passed the ball 49 times. Of course, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. But Gino, we don't rely on the pass game as much, but he puts up 350 through the air. 28 attempts, had good percentage, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Ken puts up 188 on the ground. Gibbs puts up 92. Gino puts up 12. David Montgomery loses a yard on a single carry. I'm gonna go through them all, but Darden over 120 receiving yards. Guys, we are gonna see a challenge that I'm gonna set forth. Our next game, I'll tell you in the next episode, but I'm gonna have something that is gonna be a ton of fun. So we're gonna have 2 storylines next week, which of course should be Wednesday for you guys that watch this. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the release schedule for this series. But we're going to have something. It's going to be fun. Amon-Ra St. Brown was their offense. 14 catches, 162 yards. Jameson Williams also put up some really great numbers with 3 receiving touchdowns. Sam Laporta was also great. And then Metcalf, 51. Ken puts up 78. Lockett puts up 23. Jackson Smith had that, I should say Smith and Jigba, that is his full name. Had the 1 catch, but it came at a really great time, even with him being injured. So, hey, I'm happy. Derek Young got a nice 20-yard gain and a touchdown, so that was sick. And then A.J. Barner had 6 yards on the day, and you got to be happy about that. Defensively, this is where Boye Mafe had 2 sacks and 3 TFLs. He had a great day as Byron Murphy got a sack and a TFL, and we got sacked a couple times as well. This one was pretty bad. It was just a dominant win over our offensive lineman, Christian Haynes. Now, once again, here's where we won the game. Without these 3 interceptions, we lose, as they scored 40-plus points with turning the ball over 3 times. Think about that. 2 of those interceptions came on Jared Goff just chucking it as deep as he possibly could. Don't know what that was about. Now, I am back in the menu here as Kenneth Walker has an upgrade, and he'll probably have another one as he completed the challenge and will go up to X Factor, which is so exciting because that means Ken Walker is going to be a long-term guy, and I love me some Kenneth Walker. I have his jersey. Got to see him practice and play in person. And, yeah, a big fan. Now let's read a little bit about this running back breakout, as we expected a good game from Kenneth Walker and definitely got it. No question, he's one of the best backs in the league. Makes my life a lot easier knowing we have a back that can do it all. I don't know if that's actually what it said, but I didn't really care. Dev upgrade, Kenneth Walker gets a massive morale boost and dev trait boost. And let's take a peek real quick at what his X Factor will be. I'm a big fan of giving running backs first one free. I just think it's a great ability, easy to activate, and does pretty well. Now, statistically, we are a quarter of the way through the season, so we can use our big math brain to make projections about where our players will be at the end of the season. Right now, Geno Smith is having a tear of her first 4 games. 1,000 yards already. Obviously, if he kept that up, he'd be at 4,000 yards passing. Here's where it gets insane, is he would be at 60 touchdowns. We, of course, know he's not going to be able to hold up this massive amount of touchdowns that he's throwing all season, and he would only have 4 picks, which, once again, you know that that's unreasonable. So these obviously aren't going to be as projected. But, man, he's off to a great start. Has been sacked 12 times. That could be a little better. Rushing-wise, Kenneth Walker already halfway to 1,000 yards, which means projection-wise, 2,000 yards on the season. Not going to happen. We're going to have injuries. We're going to have bad games. We're going to have down games. And we're going to make the sliders harder at some point. So this isn't going to be something that you can consistently do. Receiving, this is where we're weak. We have Metcalf, who's up at 250, which isn't bad. At the end of the season, he would have about 1,000 yards. We have Walker as our second receiving target, which is bad. Your running back should not be your second leading receiver. Darden, after 1 game, is our third. That's really telling you something right now, which is why next week we're doing a fun challenge. Blocking wise, Abraham Lucas has given up quite a few sacks, but a good portion of those have been on me because I roll out more than I should. That's on me. So you can't take that at face value. Here's one you can take at face value because I don't have control over this. Christian Haint's giving up 3 sacks already. Those have just been losses, and I've shown them on the videos. Defensively, Boye Mafe already up to 6.5 sacks. He is on a tear with 10 TFLs as he leads our team in both of those categories. Julian Love, 4 interceptions on the season so far, and some great interceptions by our linebacking slash safety playing linebacker crew. Tariq Woolen has a couple, should have had a third, but didn't get his foot down. Terry Snight, yeah, we've been very solid on defense. Fumble-wise, a couple of those, not a big deal. And we, I believe, only have 1 defensive touchdown. That's Devin Witherspoon, who has been great. All right, thank you all for joining me this week. I'm having a ton of fun with this series. If you really like it, let me know. Drop a like. Say something in the comments. Say something mean in the comments if you want. Just drop a comment or something. And then maybe subscribe a little bit. Maybe. All right, well, I'm Tyler. This is Bald Sports. See you next time. Bye.